So I feel like I can trust them. Yeah, I felt like I could trust them. Molo, I am Aona Minentle and welcome to my channel. If you are not a current subscriber of this channel, please know that you have every reason to subscribe. One of those reasons are the fact that we do lock content, career content, and content about anything that we are curious about, because we are a curious bunch over here. And if that is you, you should definitely join us. We have new videos every Monday and Thursday, so we have a lot coming your way, so you should definitely subscribe. So today you'll be getting ready with me today, doing just a quick little makeup look and also a quick hairdo or hair freshen up bun with using my waterless cleanser from Dark and Lovely. So as you can see by the title of this video, this will be a get ready with me and story time about how I tried so hard to be a pick me for clowns and I almost ended up joining the circus. Hashtag work edition. So what that means is that this story time is not about a man's. I support women blasting men's wrongs. However, this is about employers' wrongs. One thing that you know that we are passionate about here is career, and that encompasses everything to do with work. So please do not be offended by anything in this video. The whole purpose of this video is to give you just a little bit of insight of some of the things that I went through the process of my career pivot. You will see a little bit more, or you will hear a little bit more about that in my life update video. And this is just an entertaining story time based on real events. So yeah, guys, please don't be offended by anything. It's just fun and games, nothing serious. That is a disclaimer. And if you would like to see more, please do leave a comment and join us. Now that is said and cleared up, let's get into the video. So I'm not going to be talking through the different steps of doing this. I think you can just watch, and if you guys would like a more detailed tutorial, or talk through while I do the hair, please let me know in the comments down below, because my main focus is the story. Let me tell you. So if I'm looking on the side, I'm just looking into the mirror to be able to see exactly what I'm doing. As you know, I recently resigned, so I was thinking of a plan of action, right? So I thought, you know what, I haven't actually interviewed in a while, and I wasn't necessarily expecting that the very first interviews I go to will be 100% successful, but I wanted something to soften the blow. I just wanted to learn in a space where at least I can, get good feedback from people I already have relationships with. So the first organization I applied for was not going to necessarily be affecting my career pivot, so it was going to be an organization in the same industry, which is social impact and ed tech. And we had a relationship with these people prior. We had a working relationship. I had done them a favor in the past, so I knew a few people on their team, and I felt like it would be a good way to, get into their organization. Felt like I already have relationships with them. They won't be too new. I already know what they do. So I'm already linked in contacts with one of the senior members of their management. So I see a vacancy on their LinkedIn and I applied. After applying, I reached out to this particular senior member of the organization. We'll call her, let's call her May. Okay, cool. So I reached out to May and I let her know that I have applied for this role. May is like, oh, that's so exciting. May is like, oh, this is perfect. Let me let our HR know, and they will move you through the process swiftly and organize an interview. So within like 3 days, I hear back. I get an email from their HR representative or whoever's in the HR team. Let's call this person June, right? June wants to set up a screening call with me, which is like the first screening interview. And at that time that she set it up, I was going to be having load shedding. So I let her know that I want to, you know, be there and whatnot. But the alternative space that I have, which is a coffee shop in my area, is a bit noisy. So it's either she can let me know if she can work with the noise, or we can just make the call a phone call rather. Like the meets call, we can rather make it instead of a Zoom, we can make it a phone call. And then she's like, okay, cool, no, that works. I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. So let me tell you a little bit about this role that I had applied for. So this role was a slightly junior role. They didn't have any intermediate or senior roles available. So I thought, let me apply for something that I'm overqualified for. You know, I already have a relationship with these people, knowing that, you know, these people know me, they know what I'm capable of. They would probably even create a role for me. So no problem. Right. That's the first role that I applied for. Okay. Then I have the screening call with June. June is very happy with me. We have a great get to know you type of conversation. Oh, then she asked me for my availability for the next interview, and the next interview is going to be with May and her other colleague. June schedules the interview with May and her other colleague, and I'm excited. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm getting my feet wet. I'm not expecting much, but you know, the aim of the game is to learn right now and to figure out, you know, what's going on in these days, you know, in the interview world. So guys, there have been multiple red flags with these people. This was the first one. So June gets back to me after that first interview with May and her colleague. And June lets me know that, you know, my interview is very successful, to the point where they actually feel like I would be a better fit for another role that they haven't advertised yet. It's a much more senior role, and she thinks it's, you know, it's better suited to my experience. And if I wish to continue with the process, I'll be doing a take-home assignment for this role. And yeah, so am I in, or am I not interested? So obviously this is completely working towards the plan that I had initially. I wanted them to create a role for me. So I'm like, okay, perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. So at this point, I feel like, yeah, my plan is coming together. My plan is coming together. I know exactly what I'm doing. So I am in my pick me mode now. They've now put me in pick me mode. I will do anything because, hey, this role is for me. I will do anything. I'm down for the ride. So they give me this take-home assignment. Yeah, guys, let me tell you, this take-home assignment, it was hectic. Like, it was quite intense, because it's like creating strategies, things that you would expect someone who has an overview of their current strategy and their long-term, like, internal strategy to be able to come up with. So it was a bit weird because I was sort of working with no information but having to create stuff. So it started feeling like I'm already working for them, or this was sort of like a project that they would need someone, they would need like a contractor to do. So I started feeling a bit like used through the process of actually just creating this assignment. But I'm also thinking, you know, I have this great relationship with these people, you know, they've seemingly been so good to me. So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But I kept telling my friends, like, I don't feel good about this. Like, I don't feel good about this. This doesn't feel right. And I've actually recently seen an article on LinkedIn about how some companies are using those assignments, those take-home assignments during recruitment as a means of using unpaid labor to get ahead on some projects. So, you know, part of me is like, okay, do I tell them like this doesn't seem right? Or, you know, do I go based on, you know, our previous experience? And at this point, mind you, the only opinion that I have of these people is, you know, the great working relationship that we had in my previous organization. So I feel like I can trust them. Yeah, I felt like I could trust them. To the point where I actually negated Googling them and checking out their Glassdoor, which is like their company page where employees and their most recent former employees would leave reviews. So I haven't looked at that, which I would not recommend that you do. Start there and end there. But I have this bad feeling, to the point where, guys, this assignment was 30 pages long that I submitted. By the time I submit, I'm like, you better give me this job. Like, no. Like, no, I'm not doing that. So, guys, I'm gonna have to finish up this twisting off camera, and then I'm gonna be back and continue with the story. So I'm waiting for a response now after this assignment that I've handed in, and you know, June still hasn't gotten back to me. Then June gets back to me and she lets me know that, you know, everything was great, everything was successful. What they will need now is for me to go into the final interview and meet with their head of department. We're gonna call head of department guy July. Yeah, so I meet July and things go really well. We have a great conversation, aka interview. I get to know quite a bit, and then I ask him about the culture, and you know, everyone's great here. Okay, and he like just goes really fast past that, you know. He doesn't really offer me any details about what they have in place for this great culture. So I make a mental note to actually go into a little bit more depth when Googling them that day. I'm looking forward to hearing that, you know, the role that was not advertised, you know, but now they've seen that I can fulfill the need in their department, is going to be mine. Like, that's what I'm expecting. I'm honestly not expecting anything else. Even though I am keeping an open mind, I'm not keeping that open of a mind. So I'm expecting to hear from them. And then June gets back to me about a week later, and she tells me that, you know, for the original role that I had applied for, they have found someone else to fill that position. And for the one that was closed, that they, you know, prompted me to interview for, they've decided to keep closed. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. But I guess, yeah, I mean, people can do whatever they want with their companies, I guess. And then about 3.5 weeks to a month later, May is in my LinkedIn inbox, right? Remember the role that they had said they would keep closed? Okay. May is in my inbox and she sends me a link to an opening, right? And she says, hey, if you're still, you know, keen, we actually have a role that was recently advertised, and I think you'd be great for this role and whatnot. So I'm like, cool, I'll have a look, right? So remember when they recommended that I rather interview for this role, they had sent me the job spec. I go to this advertised role, word for word, same exact role, but different name for the role.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this.
Red flag number 2. So now I'm confused. I'm like, didn't we say we're keeping this role closed? Like, what are we doing? Like, but okay, cool, I guess. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, okay. Ingathi means into wrong but it seems like a cry for help for me to be asking me to do this, because surely you can see and I can see, or am I missing something? Why would you interview me up until right to the end for a role and then not hire me and then go ahead and advertise it and then particularly ask me to interview for that role and apply for it? Like, what's going on? Once again, I really want to give May the benefit of the doubt. So I apply for the role.
Oh, Lord. Again. Nothing new, nothing changed.
I just told her I'd check it out, right? So I apply for the role and I don't let her know that I've applied. And then I get an email from a different HR person than last time. And this person is not June. This person is August. So August reaches out. She wants to set up a screening call. I'm like, again. So we're doing this whole process again. Like the very same process. No, I'm not doing that. I don't have time for that. So I wonder if, okay, should I email her and let her know that, like, we've done this before. I don't know if I want to do it again. And also, what's the point? What's the point of this process now? So I just decide, no, let me meet her. And at the meeting, I'll bring it up. Before we get into anything, I'll just bring it up. So I meet her for the screening call. So this time it's not a phone call. We meet on Meets, and she basically gives me the rundown of how this call is going to go, and I just wait for her to speak, and she finishes, and then she says if I have any questions I should ask at the end, and I say, you know what, I think I'm going to have to ask at the beginning actually. And I'm like, I don't know if you know, but you know, I tell her the whole story about what's happened in the past, or in the very recent past, and I let her know that, you know, she should tell me, oh guys, I'm not going to be able to do my brows and speak. So let me just finish doing my brows and then I'll continue. So yeah, I give August the rundown, and she is like, oh, that's interesting. Ma'am, how do you not know this? So I'm confused why this is news to her. But you know, she explains that she's new and she hadn't joined the company at the time of this interview happening, so she doesn't know about it. But oh, now that you mention it, this is her, this is August. Oh, now that you mention it, I can see the on my notes, I can see on our dashboard that we definitely have something for you. So let me actually, so she says she's gonna get in touch with May to find out, you know, what the process should be, since I've already gone through these processes. And I say to her, you know, very politely that, you know, the role that I was interviewing for was very identical to the one that I'm interviewing for right now, aka the same thing with a different name. But yeah, she then says she'll find out from May and she will get back to me. So I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. She gets back to me. She lets me know that I'm not going to be doing the assignment. The only person that I haven't met so far that I have to meet is the CEO. And I'm like, okay, sounds like, we're progressing in the right direction. But I decide, you know what, before continuing, let me just have a look at their Glassdoor to find some reviews from their employees and some of their former employees, just to be sure. Some of the things that you'll find on Glassdoor is like people's opinion of the management, their outlook on the future of the company. I'll also be able to get a lot more detailed response to what their culture is like, because I didn't get that in my last interview with their head of department. I decided, let me actually take matters into my own hands and just find out from Glassdoor what the situation is. Guys, this should have been my last step in the road. I should have literally just emailed them and asked to be removed from the interview process at this point, because what I found out, I get to Glassdoor and I see that their rating out of 5 that they've been given by their employees and former employees is 2.3. 2.3. And it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good, because people were saying all sorts of horrible things. Like, guys, the things that you would be very scared to say in public, like out there, like actually admitting that that's how you feel about your CEO. These people were straight up calling him all sorts of names. Like, people were calling this guy a narcissist, calling him a bully. Yo, guys, I don't know, cause yeah, but yeah, it was quite horrible, the things that they were saying. And one person even said, if you see any positive review about this company online, just know that HR put it there, and they've probably been intimidated to do that. And they were just saying, yo, I was shook at this point. And my expectation from my recent call with August is that I am meeting the CEO. So I'm like, yeah, am I even gonna be able to fake it? And why am I faking it? Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I still in this? So I just decide, Vele, I'm no longer talking to them. They are literally like the bottom of the barrel of my concerns at this point of, my life. They have the least of my attention. So I just want to meet this guy and actually see how far. So this is now funny for me, because I just want to see how far does this masquerade go, really. I'm planning only culture questions. I've seen all of this, so now this is just the social experiment for me. I just want to see at this point, how far do you guys go? Like, how bad is it? Like, I just want to know, how bad is it? And I'm expecting that my next interview is going to be with the CEO, like August had said. Funnily enough, it's with July, the head of department guy. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, again, redundancy in this process. I wonder what is going on here. So I decided to keep those questions that I had about culture for July, because he's also a relevant person to be able to ask these questions to. So I decided, nah, I'm just gonna continue with the prep that I had. I'm not gonna change anything. To me, it seems like they don't really know why or how they're using their time. Like, they're just interviewing people and recommending them for something else, and then not even realizing that they have those notes. And yeah, so I meet with July again. So I'm thinking, okay, great, you know what, let me also try and pick it up where we left off. So I try and catch up a little bit about a project that he had told me about the last time we had met, just to jog his memory, and nothing. He tells me about that like he would be telling someone who has never heard about it before. I just go right out and say it, and I'm like, I don't know if you remember, but wada. And he's just like, oh yes, oh yeah. And then he says to me, to be honest with you, this is like my 18th interview in the last week. And you just end up at some point just going with the motions. It's not okay to do that, number one. But it's even more not okay to admit it to me in front of you as a candidate. Haibo, upamben. Hi, inobupamben. Haibo. I'm thinking, haibo, upamben elo tata. Hi, So at that point, I just checked out. I'm like, this experiment is not even fun anymore, because now he's just admitted to it, and boring. So I just go ahead with it, and I'm pretty sure, I don't want to know what they have in store for me, I don't care. Not interested, never be interested. I just want to end these 30 minutes and move on with my life and just go do other things. So at this point, I'm mentally checked out. Like, I honestly don't care. I'm disappointed at what some employers are doing out there, wasting candidates' time. And just, I also feel sad for whoever is part of their organization, because clearly, their time is not valued either. Because, they're here doing God knows what for what I hear is also for very little benefits, if any at all. So I was just really sad at that point, that people can just waste people's time like that with the promise of with the promise of giving them something like an opportunity, whereas that's not even the case. And they weren't even done. They weren't even done with disappointing me. You would think that at this point they've done all that they could do. Oh no, they still had further to fall. Maybe like 3 weeks later or 2 weeks, but I had forgotten about them. August gets back to me and says, hi, thank you for being so patient. I just wanted to let you know that although you were great, it didn't work out for this role. However, because there's always a plot twist with these clowns. However, they still really want me to join their circus. So she's like, here is another role Please look at, I was like, I'm not doing that again. There's one thing I'm not doing. It's that. Again. I'm like, no, 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 baby. What we're not going to do is keep jumping me from pillar to post with you guys. Like, you don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you do. I don't know what's going on in there. I don't want to find out. And Glassdoor tells me it's horrible. Glassdoor tells me it's a horrible time. Nobody's enjoying it.
It's hell in there. It's horror. You have to be a certain type of person to survive.
So yeah, so she tells me, you know, this is, you know, another role that she thinks, you know, I'd be happy to be at and whatnot. And then I had already received 2 offers and I signed one, and so I just responded with sorry, I'm no longer on the market, so thanks. So yeah, that was my little story time about how I tried a little bit too hard to be a pick-me for clowns so I could join the circus. But thank God I didn't. Yeah, I will forever thank God every single day. So this is the quick little look that I have going for work. This is not a makeup tutorial by any means. This is just my quick routine. Yeah, I just decided to do a regular bun for work. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learn a thing or two about the fact that you actually do have options of being able to remove yourself from the recruitment process. You can let them know that I no longer want to continue with this process. And also, please research every single company before interviewing with them or even applying with them on Glassdoor. If you would like to see more story times like this that are hashtag work edition, please let me know and comment down below. And if you have your very own stories, please do send them to me, okay? DM me and I will be able to tell your story anonymously. We could have a little story time hashtag work edition where I tell your story. Obviously, I would tell it like it was you. I'll be doing that on TikTok and on my channel. So you can just DM me and give me the tea, and I will be telling people, Oba Asana, one thing that we are against is umpati or wrongo. Umpati or wrongo. We're not about that. And you will see a new video every Monday and Thursday. I look forward to seeing you in my Monday video. See you in my next video.